How you doing, everybody? Happy New Year! Happy 2023!
Hey, grab some of this.
And,
Yes!
surprise! How you doing? Welcome to Soundwaves TMI, or if you listen to these guys, Soundwaves FFS.
Yes. You will soon come to find out what that means. We promise.
Yeah. So this is our brand new thing. We're doing it on camera for the first time, but this is our brand new podcast. And we're very, very excited about changing the conversation we have. You know, we jump into these things. We have awesome conversations with a lot of us on a debate, or we'll start chewing on something, and then we go, oh, man, this is a TV show. This has to be like, we got to wrap this up in 3 minutes. Well, we don't now.
That's right.
And
that's always my question to you is, how long do you want this? And he's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And then you have to have this mental clock all the time.
And it's like, it's been 11 minutes and it's all gold.
No, you probably want to kill me almost every single time. She's like, I told her 4 minutes, bitch. Took 18 minutes. Won't shut her effing mouth. Well, that's what a podcast is for.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all
and if
good.
you're joining us for the first time, if you're just coming across your the Soundwaves TMI in some sort of a podcast feed someplace, and you don't know who we are, well, that's Dennis Willis over there. The creator of Soundwaves. We've got the lovely and talented Chasta.
Hello.
She is a musical marvel.
I can't play music. We should probably clarify that.
No, but you make everybody else sound awesome.
There we go.
You're program director and
yes.
big time main jock over at 107.7 The Bone.
Thank you.
And me, I'm Steve Kirk. I'm the resident beer drinker, clown prince of Soundwaves.
No, he is a party in human form. He walks in and a party has arrived. Mr. Kirk is here.
He is not wrong. So being that this is a TV show as well as a podcast, you're going to see us refer to our notes and maybe not look at you every now and again while we're getting our act together here.
So it's actually kind of like a visual component of what it's like to be listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Right,
Sort of
right.
theater of the mind thing, because you guys in the camera over there, you just go about your business and
You're
you can just
fly on the
listen.
wall.
You know, we're going to be here doing our thing. 'Cause
Yes.
This is what a podcast is going to be.
Right.
And this is where I'll end up having very bad posture. I always do that because,
Right.
you know, I get into mode and I forget I'm holding a microphone, which is always scary, but that's what podcasts are for. And that's why I love them.
Well, let's do the thing where we actually kind of like introduce ourselves, because if you're just listening to us and you have no idea who we are, we were going to do the pick a name out of a hat thing. We could do the same that we talked about before.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first here?
Am I just pretending to draw?
You are. I
I
we'll put a special effect piece of paper in here.
I drew. Well, hold on. Before we even go there, are we going to reference the fact that we've done this already one time?
Yeah, I guess we should. We should.
Tell the story.
Do I have
Tell
to?
it.
Well, see, I wasn't even
Okay.
sure if we were going to circle back around to that. That's why I said Dennis Soundwave.
Yeah.
77 me goofball.
So yeah,
You know.
no, we did this actually once before, and it didn't quite work out for reasons, technical reasons we won't go into. But we're all rehearsed now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you can tell how professional this is.
Yes.
How smooth it's all going so far.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, am I doing the hat thing?
Let's do the hat thing.
All right. I drew Steven Kirk.
Hey,
Look
what a
at that.
surprise! What a
Lucky me.
surprise! Wow,
Here.
jeez.
He is my brother from another mother. Truly, the other night, what were we doing when I texted? Oh, we were watching the Christmas show. That's what it was. And there's this moment, if you watch closely in the Christmas show, you and I got the giggles over something, and I don't even remember what it was.
I can't imagine.
I know.
Really?
Oh, it was the I Love You Man.
It was the I Love You Man.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you, man. And the subtitles are like, I love you, man. And it made me laugh so hard. And I texted you, and I was like, I swear to God, in another life, you and I were brother and sister.
That's right.
And you texted me back the sweetest thing.
Yeah, well, I said that I just thank God that we're brother and sister in this life.
Yes.
You know?
Dude, and I'm not kidding. Earlier when I said he is a party in flesh, which sounds really gross, but you'll understand what
You
I'm
two
saying.
ladies.
So let me jump in, because Dennis, have been working with Steve for 37, 38 years. Mm-hmm. And we've done everything from produce short films, movies, radio, Soundwaves, TV. We've done absolutely everything in terms of production, and mostly everything else too. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where we're brothers. We know each other very well. I would, and so I know exactly who I'm going to call anytime I've got something cool coming up. It's like, that's a job for Steve.
Yep.
Because not only is he the clown prince of Soundwaves, I've never worked with anybody with such attention to detail on, you know, I walk in and I'm like, okay, what shots do we have to get? And Steve walks in and says, how can we make this place look this much better? Let's put that little blinky freaking thing over there in the corner that nobody's going to notice, but he will.
You're the consummate entertainer. I mean, that's what it is. I think that's the thing. It's like he's always down to go to a costume or a bit.
With an acute sense of attention to detail.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal.
Yes.
Because I'm a big picture person. I miss the details all the time.
Yeah.
And he reminds me when I do. I'm sitting there watching editing. He's like, why didn't you put the light like 2 inches more this way? 'Cause you gotta, damn it, you're right.
Dumbass.
It's so true.
Well, let me talk about Dennis a little bit, as long as we're kind of back and forth with that, because Dennis is right. We've worked together. We are one entity in two separate bodies here when it comes to creating entertainment stuff, whether it's TV or radio or parties or whatever. Dennis and I have done it all, and we've done it all together. And someday you may find out some of those things. Some of the things you'll never find out.
They'll be in the movie.
Buy the book when it comes out.
Exactly.
No, some of that shit ain't even going in the book.
Legally it
can't.
Yeah,
That's
no.
right.
We'll change the names.
Yeah, of the not so innocent.
Right.
Yeah. No, Dennis, it amazes me.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking about the not so innocent.
I know, right?
I was having a moment there. You guys go.
He is the creator, the producer, the editor, the writer, the guy who has a Charlie Brown scraggle over his head trying to think really hard about
All the
what we
time.
can do and
Yeah.
what goes where and all that stuff. You talk about attention to detail. This is a true story. He will send over spreadsheets like for a year, like, oh, here's what the season looks like. And my eyes go, like, I can't even, they're color coordinated.
They have to be. Sorry.
And yeah, I mean, it's awesome organization, and I'm an organized person, but it is like next level. But you keep all of our shit in line. And we show it because you're like, this is what we're doing. We're like, yes, let's go.
You don't color coordinate your calendar? Girl, we got to talk.
No,
All right.
no.
Yeah, it's
Dennis
I
even color
love
coordinates
it.
his underwear to go along with the shoot days and everything.
Is that true? It's always,
he doesn't wear
yellow and blue.
He doesn't wear underwear. That's it. There's your little Soundwaves factoid right there.
So, and this one here, Chasta, we didn't even know, you weren't even part of our world almost 5 years ago. I mean, we did all this up to like merely 5 years ago. And here's my story that I've told a million times, but I love it because I do film critic stuff, and I was coming home from a screening and I'm listening to The Bone and I'm rocking out, and then this girl comes on talking about how she went to a Motley Crue concert when she was way too young to have gone to a Motley Crue concert. And I'm like, this is great. And she says, my name's Chasta on 107.7 The Bone. This was like when you were doing a night shift thing.
Yeah.
It was like 10:30 at night or something. So I go in and I'm like, I've heard that name. People have mentioned her name to me before. I think she lives in Pacifica. Sure enough, you do.
Yep.
And I'm like, next time I go to the station, which was next week, I'm going to go down and say hi because KGO and The Bone were separate. It was one hallway. I went down, said hi, came on the Christmas show, never left. And what a partnership it's been.
Yeah.
What a partnership it's been. I fully expected her to go away after the Christmas show, figuring, well, I've done that. I've hung out with those guys, and it took too freaking long. And
Yeah, fuck those idiots. I'm out.
came right up
quite
to me
the opposite.
afterward and said, what are we doing next? And I'm like, what do you want to do? And that's where it started. That was the seed right there, and everything. from
Here's
there.
my version of that story, which still makes me laugh to this day. So I'm sitting in the studio and I'm doing my show. Baby Huey's in there just chatting with me. And you come walking in, you're like, hi, I'm Dennis, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, I'm in the middle of a show. So I didn't know, like, oh, he works here. So when he was like, oh, I'm at KGO, I was like, oh, okay, great. And so I was like, okay, this isn't just random guys, that came in off the street. Right, exactly. You never know. And so we're doing our thing. We're totally like, vibing. We got this. That sounds great. You walk out and Huey goes, who the fuck was that? What was he all about? Like, he thought you were fully just trying to like pick me up.
How you
So he
doing?
was being protector brother
Can
guy.
I get an autograph?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Which was really sweet, but he had no idea what was none of us knew what it was
Right.
gonna turn into. The
Yeah.
stars aligned.
Yep.
And that was crazy. I mean, I remember when we first did that very first Christmas show, you guys were like, yeah, just barrel in the middle. And I was like, oh God, that sounds really douchey. Like, hey, everybody, it's me. I'm here. Weren't you waiting on the party? Like, I felt like an idiot.
That's actually a really good
But-
representation of what actually happened. That's amazing. You remember those details. So
That was good.
I felt like an idiot. But you know what? I went with it. It worked. And here we are, 5
Yes.
years later.
Yes.
I'll tell you, because Dennis and I have been doing this stuff for so long, and I won't go so far as to say that we were falling into a rut or we're getting bored with it or anything like that. But when you crashed in that day, you brought this vitality that we had not had on the show for years. And I mean that. I mean, you just really made us up our game. and I love upping it. So,
I do know that.
but you did. You really took us to another level.
Thank you.
It's because of you that we're doing all the things that we're doing right now. I really honestly believe that.
That's really
Soundwaves
kind.
would not be where it is today with all the different products and all the projects and all that. It wouldn't be here without Chasta.
Thank you. That means a lot. Like, no bullshit. But I really don't think it has anything to do with me. I think it's all predetermined, predestined. Like, we were just meant to be lightning in a bottle. I mean, I'll just go ahead and compare it to, like, I don't know, Led Zeppelin, for instance.
Okay.
Sometimes it's written in the stars. These humans are going to meet.
Right.
They're going to make art together. They're going to have a thing. And I just feel like that was always going to happen. We just didn't know about it. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I've been on a lot of shows. Here's a little behind the scenes tea. Don't tell anybody. I've been on a lot of shows in 21 years in radio. You either have that chemistry or you do not.
Right.
And you cannot fake it. And that is super important. I'm so lucky that I have this chemistry with you guys here. I have it with Lamont Antonelli on the bone. Because when you don't have it, it's miserable.
Right.
Because you're just trying to square peg round hole a conversation, and it's freaking awful. You've been in those moments, right? Where you're like at a party and you're like,
all the time.
Everything. I just put everything out there and nothing's happening. And when that's on a show, it's a nightmare. So I'm so grateful that we don't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact,
the only
most
thing we're
times,
lacking
shut
is
the
our
F
own
up.
radio network, so we can just go all day on this shit,
I love that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, as the saying goes, now that the mutual admiration bullshit is
I
over,
know.
maybe
Kumbaya.
people are looking at their watches going, I thought this is supposed to be like entertainment and shit. What's going on?
It is.
So, what is Soundwaves?
What is Soundwaves?
For those people who don't know what we are or what the hell they're listening to. And Soundwaves started when I was a teenager on a local access TV station, and I was playing music and hanging out with my friends. And then it became something else, and I was still playing music, hanging out with my friends. And then we did 25 years of that, and we're still playing music. And now, what are we doing? We're still playing music.
We are.
And since the very beginning, since I was a teenager, what has it always been about? Somebody slips you a tape. Somebody says, check out this band. This is amazing. You got to hear it. It's going to change your life. Those are the conversations I've been having for 40 freaking years as of now. And probably before that, too. And that's the basis of everything we do. The Soundwaves TV show, the Soundwaves FM show on 107.7 The Bone. It's all about us going, check this out.
Yeah.
This is amazing. You need to hear this. I love that. If that ends up being our legacy, where we just introduced awesome bands that need to be heard, that aren't being played, that's a big thing now in the 21st century. With how everything is scattered, our moral imperative is to play you awesome music that you're not being served up. So.
See, that's right, because back in the early days, what Soundwaves was, Dennis was still in high school at the time, and it's down at the local community access TV station, and there's a couple of tables set up, and all the kids came down after school to hang out to be on live TV, and Dennis was just DJing. It wasn't local bands, mean, unless it was a name Bay Area band, but, Journey or something like that, or Huey Lewis. But it was just playing music. It's just being a jukebox with fun stuff going on in the background. But this iteration of Soundwaves is next level stuff, because it is the moral imperative. It's not just a matter of, hey, listen to this cool song. It's like, we're introducing you to this cool band. We are giving you the opportunity to discover somebody new. And that's one of the great things. I think that's the legacy that Soundwaves is going to end up having when people look back at it down the road. Because not that we're necessarily star makers or any shit like that, but the fact that we are giving a voice to these artists, both on the TV show and on the FM show. Because an artist can make great music, but what are they going to do with that music? Go out and maybe play in a couple little clubs, or maybe they'll do a music video, but who's going to watch that? They're just going to put it on YouTube, and hopefully their friends and family are going to watch it. We give the bands an outlet, or we try to put them together with outlets.
Yeah.
So we curate that list. We don't just take whoever happens to have stuff coming in. We curate the list. We make sure that it gets the Soundwaves seal of approval. If it's got that little 45 adapter stamped on it, then you know that it's Soundwaves approved.
That's right.
That's good.
I've said this before. I hate to be repetitive, but it was one of the most impactful moments in my life and career. And it's why I'm so proud of what we do here at Soundwaves. Whenever I was 19 years old, I was starting in radio a century ago. I'll never forget, I was sitting there I won't say his name, but a program director for one of the stations in our cluster. He had a bunch of tapes or CDs, and they were sitting on his desk, and he took them and he threw them into this box. And I was like, well, what are those? You know, being like a really nerdy little intern trying to learn and soak up everything. And he was like, oh, that's the box of broken dreams. And he had just taken these envelopes and these CDs that had been sent from local bands and just tossed art away. And I remember, I audibly gasped, and I went and picked them up and I took them home, and that was my very first time I ever started my own local show in Oklahoma. But that stuck with me forevermore.
Jeez, what an asshole.
What an asshole. But I know he's not alone in that, you know what I mean? And that's what just put a fire under me.
Right.
This is a mission. Like, I've got to, if I ever have, and at that time I certainly never thought I would, if I ever have any kind of platform, or if I have a mic with any amount of reach, I will do everything I can to help the artists and their music. People spend their lives creating that, and some guy is just like, piff, not on this show.
Well, and you are doing that too, because as program director at 107.7 The Bone, you were empowered to give Dennis a spot on the air where he was able to kind of slide in under the corporate radar.
I was going to say, I don't know if empowered the word.
Because through Dennis, you have that venue. You have that power to give Dennis the power to share that music with people. So if you want to find awesome new bands in the Bay Area, just listen to Dennis's show. Dennis, when is that radio show happening?
Why, funny you actually should ask. It's Soundwaves FM, which is live every Saturday night at 11 o'clock and archived afterward. And the thing is, for me, it's 21st century. There is no music industry anymore, not the way we knew it, not the way we grew up. And that means where there were gatekeepers before and you had to qualify, there's hardly any gatekeepers now, but that doesn't make it any easier to get your music out to the masses. Like Steve said, you can put it on YouTube and you're fighting against all the noise, and that's not a knock against the bands. You could have amazing stuff happening out there, and some poor guy is going to work every freaking day, and to come home and jam on the guitar. As far as I'm concerned, I have seen a lot of people I know who have day jobs come and like pour their passion into a band, and if I can spend 4 minutes playing that on the radio and give somebody a reason to not put down that guitar, that's all I'm about. Because the thing is, art will keep you alive. Art is the thing that just feeds all of the souls. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's like everybody could be a poor bastard punching a clock, and we all have. But at the end of the day, I think we all need that thing. We all need that artistic spark that's going to give the soul.
And it makes them come to life creating it, and
Yes.
it makes us come to life listening to and playing it.
Because at the end of
Right?
your life, you're not going to look back on those thousands of hours of overtime you put in.
Like, man, I
You're
really should've worked more.
But you are going to look back with satisfaction of the way that your art impacted you and maybe somebody else. And when I see social media, people sitting in their cars, listening to the radio, because honestly, that's the only way people can listen sometimes.
Yeah.
Or listening online, or crying because we played their songs. My God, that is like the greatest. It's everything.
Oh,
It's
those
everything
when
to
we
me.
wake up on Sunday morning, because the show airs on Saturday night, and you get all the like tags right on social, and it's people literally jumping in their cars and filming, and then putting it on social, and they're freaking out, they're screaming oftentimes. It just really does show over and over again the power of radio. Radio is very much alive. I know there are arguments to the other side of that we won't go into, but that's proof. It's proof in the pudding that the power of radio is there.
Right.
And people get really jazzed.
Oh yeah,
about that.
well, when we air music videos on Soundwaves TV, people are like, oh, that's cool, thanks.
Yeah.
That same band will just shit themselves.
It's so
Hey, Mom, on the radio.
it's so true.
And it's great. So yeah, it's still and God bless it, it's still there.
Yeah.
That passion for radio is still there. I love that.
That's my great love affair.
And we also, it's not just the bands, but also the venues too, that we think it's real important, because while we love playing music for everybody and sitting down and watching an awesome music video is great, but I got to tell you, there's nothing like seeing a band live.
That's right.
And you can go spend $300 on a ticket to go see, a big A-list or something like that. You can get as much goddamn entertainment going to a small club and sitting down with, where'd we go? We went to the Hotel Utah, right?
Right.
See Ted Baby the other night. And there was like, that venue down there, venue quote unquote.
Right.
It's probably about the size of this room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With a little stage on there. I think it used to be a burlesque house or something like that.
Yeah. Which makes it even cooler.
I thought that was great. But to be able to be that close with people, packed in there, and everybody has a passion for the music and all that. That is awesome. You can go to a big stadium and sit down with 30,000 people that you'll never see again, or you can be there with some of your friends. But to be in an environment like that, it's great. So that's another one of the things that we do is we like to support local bands and when they're out playing too. It's not just a matter of putting their stuff on the radio or putting a video on Soundwaves TV. We want those venues to thrive as well, and they're trying to come back from the whole COVID thing and all that sort of stuff. So it's important. So we've got a handful of venues that we talk. I mean, Kim at the Longboard Margarita Bar, she's one of our sponsors on the show.
That's right.
And she always opens her doors to us. That's where we do our Christmas show every year. And it's places like that have a stage, have an outlet for people to come and have a party and have a good time. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
To share that music with your friends in that live environment, to be this close to real music.
And if they don't thrive, these bands have nowhere to play. Then the whole ecosystem, I love that word, the whole musical ecosystem folds in on itself.
18 minutes it took you to get ecosystem
I know,
in there. I knew it was coming. But.
I love it. But it's true. So I mean, I think you can obviously see and hear the passion in our voices about Soundwaves. But this podcast is gonna be a little bit different because you're gonna get a lot of the behind the scenes stories, a lot of the what, when, where, why. Kermit drinking the tea stories, maybe. Maybe with some of the names.
Because it's our 40th anniversary this year, and we wanted this to be kind of a victory lap, but also kind of like to bring you into the process.
Yeah.
We've done things where we've had crazy shoots, and we want to talk about like, all the batteries died at once.
Oh, and
or there's
a
ghost and it was messing with things, and it's like there's crazy stuff. Just like one of our hosts, like Morris. Sorry, Morris, gonna throw you under. It was like there was this one day where everything went wrong, and Morris, for how many dozens of times have we driven right here to this building?
Oh, I forgot.
But that was the day where Morris decided to go somewhere else. Like I thought we were shooting here. No, why would we be? It was the weirdest thing.
He was so annoyed too when he finally made it. He was like sweaty and pissed off.
Oh, it was Fog Fest day, so all that traffic was insane. It was bumper to bumper, and he went to the wrong place. And we were like, "Where's Morris?" And
he's standing there at Longboard, wasn't it? He's standing there by himself. Where is everybody? Oh my God! All kinds of fun stuff happens. So we'll tell all the juicy bits on this.
Yeah, I mean, we
podcast.
did want to spend a little time bringing you up to speed on what Soundwaves is all about, but the Soundwaves TMI is going to be actually pretty much about the three of us,
Yeah.
and just talking about what's going on with us and talking about not just music, but movies or TV or
industry
personal
stuff,
stories.
personal stuff.
What's going on with our cats and dogs and shit like that,
All the stuff you really want to get into.
Yeah. So stick with us. I guess this is where the obligatory find us wherever your favorite podcasts are found part is.
Yes.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
You did that really well.
I've heard it a lot.
Whenever
I are
you
on
blah,
radio.
blah, blah.
Hey, Dennis is a rock and roll DJ.
Yes, he is. That's right.
Nice. So thank you very much for putting up with us. And from here on in, everything that you see is going to be... Actually, you're not going to see this again. The next time you see us on Soundwaves TV will be episode 150.
Wow.
And it's the start of our 6th season, our 40th year season. We have big things planned. We're going to present a lot of shows. We're going to have a lot of guests. We're going to be on the road. We're going to pull up stakes and do location stuff
my
all
favorite.
over the place.
Yeah.
So, something that we're not really announcing it. I'm just putting it into the universe. We do the mass debate, and we get everybody together. I want to do that live someplace.
I was just hoping you were going to say that.
I want to do that live.
That
I want
gets
to.
intense.
Oh yeah, it's crazy
And hilarious.
Be all sweary and stuff while we're drinking.
And just so you know, when Dennis says he wants to mass debate in public, for those of you not aware of what the mass debate is on Soundwaves,
we should probably clarify that.
Clarify that.
We actually have a topic that we will spring on the rest of the panel. We have people that come in and we drop a topic and then everybody talks about it, hence a mass debate. Now,
in public.
I don't know what you guys were thinking.
Now, depending on how your diction is, you might get in trouble talking about mass debating in public, but...
Welcome to Soundwave.
We kept it pretty clean and above board on this one.
Yeah, it's gonna get real. It's gonna all downhill from here.
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
sure.
It seems like whenever we have the camera on, we take it up to like a 6 or 7. We
little
never
bit.
go to, but as soon as that goes off, as soon as you guys go home,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Join us next week on the podcast, audio only. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Soundwaves TMI, featuring Chasta, Steven Kirk, and yours truly, Dennis Willis. The part of the announcer was played by Kelly Ogden. Please like and subscribe to Soundwaves TMI wherever you are listening from. Soundwaves TMI is presented in part by the Longboard Bar in Pacifica, California, a world-class music venue and neighborhood bar all under one roof. Also, please consider helping us continue our mission of lifting and supporting independent music and the Bay Area music scene by becoming a Soundwaves patron. In exchange, you'll be the first to see and hear weekly shows such as Soundwaves TV, Soundwaves FM, and the Soundwaves TMI podcast, as well as exclusive content. Just go to patreon.com/SoundwavesTV. For all things Soundwaves, follow us on social media at SoundwavesTV or just go to SoundwavesTV.com.